Hey, I'm Kalen, and I was born in 1997. That puts me on the cusp of being a millennial and a Gen Z. Growing up, I was lucky enough to be sheltered from money struggles by my parents, but when I turned 20, I had a rude awakening to the reality of money. I learned that I would have to devote 12 hours per day towards a job that I don't find fulfilling and that keeps me from the things and people I love so that I can put money in other people's pockets. Millennials and Gen Z face unique financial challenges that previous generations didn't have to deal with. From skyrocketing tuition fees to the rising cost of living, the financial landscape has drastically changed. So let's talk about it. First up, let's talk about student loan debt. According to recent studies, the average student loan debt for millennials is over $30,000. This debt can take decades to pay off, and it can delay major life milestones like buying a house or starting a family, especially when we're not actually educated on debt repayment. Also, on that note of debt repayment, it's common for people to not understand that just making your minimum payment is not enough to lower the principal of your debt. So that's how you get people that have a higher debt balance after 10 years than when they started. And the fact that we have to take this debt on when we're 18 and we don't really understand the effect that it's going to have on our lives is kind of messed up. We were conditioned to believe that we need 50 to 100K to even get a chance of getting a good job, which I don't think is right and I don't think it's true. Next, let's talk about wages. Despite having more education than the previous generations, on average, millennials and Gen Z make less than their parents did at the same age. Wage growth has stagnated and the job market is more competitive than ever. The new gig economy or contract work provide flexibility, but often these come without benefits or job security. Here's a personal stat that kind of makes me feel bad, but I'm going to share it. So when I was an intern with no degree, I was making $75,000 per year. When I was finishing up my master's, I worked my butt off and I went through like 7 interview stages at the company I'm currently working at, and I started at $75,000 3 years later. Yes, they were different industries, but the stagnation is insane to have the same wage 3 years earlier with no degrees and as an intern as I did with 2 degrees. Also, speaking with some friends, their parents, when they had their first engineering jobs in the 2000s in Canada, they were also making around $60,000 to $70,000. This shows how wages, at least in Canada, haven't really grown and kept up with inflation. So our income isn't growing, and on top of that, inflation is causing the prices of the things that we need to steadily go up. The cost of living has skyrocketed, especially in urban areas where most job opportunities are. Rent, groceries, healthcare, and housing. Everything is more expensive. This is making it harder for us to save, build, and invest for the future. So, time for another crazy stat. The average home price in Canada in 2000 was $164,000, while the average household income was around $68,000. In June, the average house price in Canada was around $730,000, while the average household income was $75,000. So houses have increased 4 to 5% and our wages have barely gone up. Like, can you even believe that? Owning a home has become a distant dream for many young adults. With home prices soaring and mortgage requirements getting stricter, it's no wonder that millennials are renting for longer. And some people are even saying that they'll rent forever. Where I live, renting isn't controlled, and I have heard from some of my friends that their rent has increased $500 to $800 per month in 1 year. That's actually insane. Imagine losing $500 to $800 from your monthly take home in 1 year without changing your lifestyle. Between 2022 and now, entry-level houses have gone up around 50% where I live. So it felt like I was being priced out because I couldn't save fast enough to keep up with the prices of these houses. Because of prices growing faster than we are able to save, we often need the help of our parents to be able to own a home. I know that if my parents didn't allow me to live at home while I was saving for a down payment, I wouldn't have been able to afford buying a house so early. If I had the same expenses as I do now, it probably would have taken me around 2 to 3 years to save up for a down payment, and I'm super frugal. All of this causes us financial stress, which really takes a toll on our mental health. It sometimes feels like we're just another cog in the wheel because so many of us can't actually build anything for ourselves long term. Studies show that millennials report higher levels of anxiety and depression related to financial issues than our previous generations. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways to navigate these challenges and build the life that you want. Once you accept this is our reality, you begin to think of creative ways to reach your goals. The name of the game is keeping it simple. Live below your means so that you can put as much money away as possible. Start strong so you can build a good base for compounding, after which you can start to take your foot off the gas a little bit and let money do more of the work. So don't lose hope. Ultimately, you need to refuse the current situation that you're living in and staying stagnant. You need to learn and work to bring yourself and others up in this world. Find others that share your mindset so that you can support each other. Accept help from others and your family if you're lucky enough to get it, because we were dealt a crappy hand and there's no shame in accepting help. I hope this video helped you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this topic in the comments below. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.